Hi everyone, we are back online to start, another session. We need to wrap up this retrieving all the models, and maybe tomorrow, Brian, we'll be able to kind of get in get in the client integration acceptances. The good news is, we already have a full feature already all merged in. It's just waiting on publishing, and that's the audio file, I think, the image generation file, I think. So if you look at, OpenAI here, you'll find out we already merged in. I saw the PR that you merged earlier,
Hmm.
but all the integration, this buddy here, this our friend from Iceland, he kind of got it all in, got the entire feature in, which is really great. I think his feature is kind of feature complete at this point because if you look at his milestones, look at this. The only thing that's left here is just the publishing part,
Hmm.
which he can't do because he doesn't have access to NuGet. So this is
Hmm.
pretty neat. This is really sweet. Uh, all right, let's do this. Let's get into writing the exceptions, right? And I think it's gonna be your turn now. All right, Parker. It's all on you
Really?
now. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Putting the pressure on payback.
No, no, no pressure there whatsoever. You know.
I'm going for this screen. Just going to make sure I get the right screen.
All right, let's do it. Cool.
No worries. So where were we up to, my friend? We were at We were at the services, foundations, oops, AI models.
Rob Elbick.
Hello.
Come in. Just gonna, we're gonna be really pairing today. By the way, if you guys have never seen it, this is Kailu.
Hey, Kailu, how are
Wow.
you?
Hey, hey, Caleb.
Yeah, we'll be literally pairing. You know what I mean? I, I need to find higher chairs for my guests though. That's honestly, just take that seat because I'll just be sitting there and watching them. It's all yours. Go. By the way, just so you guys know, Kailu's taller than me, so I I don't, we're just chilling. Okay, let's
It's
do
my
this.
first time seeing Kailu. It's
That's
Hey
nice to
guys,
see
Kailu.
you.
Yeah,
it
no,
is good to see. It
yeah,
is good to see him.
he's not big on kind of, public display or whatnot. He just wants to get, stuff done, but
Yes.
he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
It's good to see what the master coder looks like.
That's him. That's my right arm right there. The
Oh, no
shadow has
worries.
arrived. Gregory, amongst many other people, have been telling me, so what does this Kailu guy look like? And just so you guys know, like, Kailu and I kind of, this is the best thing. We just use code as an excuse to hang out with each other, but it could be faux bull, it could be making cookies. Who cares? It could be many, many things.
Hmm.
Okay, Parker, let's go to town. We're done yet? Do you have a failing test for me?
No. I'm still trying to work out exactly what test we're going to go for. So maybe
Oh,
the
oh,
first.
let's catch the URL not found exception.
Right. Okay.
You may also look at the test that we did for this is going to be really easy because you don't have to construct some object to
Hmm.
pass in. It's just going to be really straightforward. No, but this one is going to be an easy one. Retrieve all is always the easiest one. Yeah, yeah. Well, guess what? There's like three services now. Well, wait a second. Oh yeah, we're not merged with main yet. That's why we can't see G's. I'm gonna call you G, man, because I don't know how to say your name. Unless you wanna kind of record a file for me and tell me how to say. Elbic, you know what? Do you know how to say his name? I don't know how to say that brother name. You know what? You know who I'm talking to. He has a funny
Yes.
lit. He has a funny letter in his name, and I have no idea like how to say that. Is that a G? Is that a D? For what it's worth, I'm really grateful and I appreciate the work that he does. He took the whole feature by himself, broker all the way up to the client. It's pretty sweet. I really honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't expect, we would be delivering, more than one feature this sprint, even though I said let's scale out. But it looks like we're going exactly in that right direction. And just for the people that don't know, Diogo is actually trying to push for that feature. He just created a pull request on RESTful Sense because he's trying to get the transcripting happen. So upload a file, and out of that file, it will turn it into text, right, using AI. It's a really sweet feature. And then he found some missing things in RESTful Sense that he needed to get it done. So it's not that he's slowing down. It's just that the feature requires additional work that he has to do on the side. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah. How you doing, Elvic? You good?
Yeah, I'm very good.
You're
Thank you.
hanging in there? Still alive? Okay.
Let me know how is my internet right now? Good
It's
or outer space?
it's good, but you sound funny. You
I
sound like you're on a tube.
I have this new, you know, headset. That's
Yeah.
why.
Pull the mic a little closer, just like I do. Okay. Now,
Yes,
is that the closest it can go?
yes.
All right. That's fine. When are you gonna get a front face light like Brian?
I have one.
Oh, you really do have one. Nice. Oh, I see. Yeah, that guy is prepped. He's prepped up. Mine broke. See, I told everyone to go get one, and mine just broke. I've been trying to fix it for like 10 minutes before we started the streaming.
There you go, farming question.
Did you guys hear Kailu? He said that's why I stay in the shadows. I don't need to. Okay.
So we should have a, let's say, a var HTTP. I'm just looking at the other screen here. I've got a few
Yeah,
little.
yeah, please do. You may also just copy the code and modify it. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna tell you, hey, type it letter by letter, you know.
Oh, I could just copy the code. Wow.
Yeah, you can
How about
absolutely
that?
copy the code. If you're Paul Wardy, I would tell you no, you can't, because I just like to kind of, annoy him. But, I think you're just gonna need to create a couple of exceptions.
Yep.
So that would be invalid configuration,
Now,
invalid.
yeah. How's it?
Oh,
You
you
like that
already,
name?
yeah, you already,
What?
wait,
Hey,
why does
maybe.
it, hang on a second. Why does it say AI model? Was the previous test written this way? Or did you change the model
I
name?
then the
What's the service called? It's called the
uh,
AI models service,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, this is a good name. Just create
yep.
the classes for it.
So the only question I got there is should it be an S plural because
No,
we're
no,
retrieving. No,
no,
yep,
just AI mod. Yeah, it's
yep.
just
No
we
worries.
always operate on the singular. So brokers plural, foundations singular, and then back again clients are plural because they're
Well,
serving at scale. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yep.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why the cursor is all over the place like that. I think StreamYard is tripping because I see the same thing with Elbic. I saw the same thing with Ricky, you
Mm.
know. Oh, really? It doesn't happen to you? But you still see it when they share. I don't know what's going on there. I need to send like a ticket support StreamYard and be like, this is really screwing up my streams. Like people are having a hard time focusing about what's going on.
We're going to call this an invalid. Oops. Sorry, I dragged off the screen so I could see what I was typing.
It's possible. I honestly don't know, okay? It's also possible. Invalid configuration AI model exception. Yeah, once we're done with the exceptions, I think we can spin up that foundation service and then guys, we can just get the client. It just rolls up. Like the heavy part is always business logic. Once you're done with that part, everything else, believe it or not, the heavier part in terms of like muscle work is foundation services, but orchestrations and processing, these take more brain power than muscle power. Because you need to think, well, what am I orchestrating? Why am I orchestrating it? Exactly.
So we got a
Mm. So you want to inherit from exception with the X, and then you want to allow passing in a a a primitive or native exception with the E as an inner exception, right?
right.
Let's do it. Albert, get ready. You're gonna go next. You ran away from finishing the test yesterday. Oh,
Yeah.
I have a conference. I'm like, uh-huh. What's the conference called? Run away from mapping conference? No, I know that I know that he's doing a lot of good advocacy work. I just like to, if I'm joking heavily with you, that means I like you. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that.
If I go full official with you, that just means I can't stand you. I just have to be there. I don't need to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I
We
know
happy
that.
with that wording, guys?
Uh, no, just say invalid AI model configuration error occurred. Fix the errors and try again or something like that. Or contact support or something like that. Invalid AI model configuration error occurred. Error occurred. Contact support. Error. Configuration
Yeah.
error occurred. Contact support. So contact support because support is the engineering team that's making the integration. If this bubbles up to a customer that doesn't know how to write software, if we tell them fix the errors and try again, they'll be like, "What errors? I don't know what's going on."
He mans the kill switch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be probably gonna be us at some point in time. Brian, don't forget to pass in the inner exception as well.
Yeah.
Pick a new line and no,
Uh,
just keep that line next to base and just take a comma from there and just pass an inner exception to it. So how far are we now? 109? Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
oops. Where am I at? I'm making a mess here.
Elbic. Well, Elbic is a great guy, I heard, you know.
We're at 111, so we're good.
Yeah, we should be fine. Yep, slap copyrights up there and then create the hold on a second. Something doesn't look right. Why is this the only exception that you have? Oh, because we never handled any exceptions before. That's right.
No, this is the first exception we've
Yep.
written. Yeah.
Normally, when we go to URL and configuration exception, I always remember to myself, oh, did we do the validation? But this one doesn't do validation because it's just retrieve,
Hmm.
right? So it's all good. It's all good. Okay. Gee, this cursor is annoying.
Yeah.
Brian, can you look into it like after the stream? I don't know why. Like you'll see when the recording, there's like
Mm.
5 cursors on the screen. And I'm almost certain that you're not moving the mouse really fast like this to make us, to trip
No,
us.
and it's insert cursors too. It's not like my mouse. It's like look,
Okay.
like so build.
Yeah, and we also need the AI model dependency exception. Oh, it's probably failing because of all the models in the tests that you need to create, right?
Yeah.
Let's just go back to the folder that you were in. That same folder where you had the exceptions and just create AI model dependency exception.
I was just gonna. Oops.
Okay. Now, the real question is, since that other guy, from Iceland already finished the feature, do we release an O3 and then wait until this one is done and release an O4, like two releases? Or do we wait until the end of the week and lump them up together? I mean, either way is fine for me. Yeah, I think it's fine, right?
What have I done wrong there? Uh,
Elbeck, help Brian.
I know what I did. Don't worry.
Okay. You didn't make a class. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a class. When I pasted that stuff, I put it in the wrong place.
Okay. Cool.
Uh,
What is it, Elbeck?
So I'm playing around with this Bing AI thing,
Yeah.
and I liked it much better than the Chat GPT 3.
Yeah.
So, um, but it is based on ChatGPT 4, right? So there's no
Oh,
need
oh yeah.
to.
I mean, the first one was on 3.5 turbo or something like that,
Mhm.
and then this one is based on I think 4, if I understand this correctly. We're gonna need to create a SPA library that kind of allows people to switch between, ChatGPT, Bing, Bard, Colossal, without
Mhm.
having to change a lot in their code and their infrastructure code. This one is very important for us as well.
Yeah. How come this Bing AI can search the internet and provide real-time data that ChatGPT
Microsoft
can't?
basically said, hey, I'm gonna hook up some commands to you. You'll see,
Oh.
like, it's not the model itself that's searching, but the model is trained to go and start
Mm,
looking for information and then feed that information to the bot.
mm,
And then the bot can, produce an answer, right?
mm.
It's really cool the turnaround time though, like how they spun that up. The one
Yeah.
thing that we have concerns with is, how reliable is this library? Like if you go into you look, you can find Azure.ai chat GPT or something like that, right?
Mhm.
How reliable is that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, let's see. Is that a good test? Let's see the failure here. Expected I expected you to throw dependency exception, but I got yep, give it to Elbic. That's good to go. It's good enough for me. So URL authentication, and then I don't think we're gonna get bad request because what would you get bad request for? You're not really requesting anything. It's a get, right? So there's no bad request handling. And then HTTP response, and then and then the generic exception. And we can call it a night. Cool.
That's the wrong name. What's wrong at E?
Should
Yeah.
should throw dependency exception on retrieve
I had a
if
spelling
URL
mistake
not
there.
found. Uh,
Yeah.
let's go. Yep, let's do it. Let's go, guy. Let's do it. Let's get this done. There you go.
What?
Are you getting errors? Did you get latest? No, no, no. You don't have latest. Just get latest.
Um, okay.
Make sure that your history kind of shows Parker's commit because if you don't see his commit, you don't have the latest stuff.
Yeah, I have his command.
That's Parker right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Look how cool this is. You see everybody's name in there. Greg, Mabruk, all of these folks. Mabruk probably crashed. He's like, I can't do this, guys. Yeah, good things take time, and I understand, like him and Ricky, I know they were running on really low energy, but we'll make time for them next week. I'll try to do that European time zone around 12 p.m. Pacific Standard, and then just pull them there. That'll be nice. Let's make sure which It's him. Yeah, good. You guys can still hear Kailu, right? So if he says something, you can hear him, right?
No.
Very
Because
The
of the
mic is.
voice canceling. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's very faint. It's
yeah.
it's just like he's at home.
He doesn't say much anyway. He just maybe like talk is cheap. Let's write some code, you know. Just okay, dude. Let's do it. Oh wait, you already passed it? Oh, you're just putting the exceptions. Got it.
uh,
So,
yeah. So
okay.
we are
Ready
gonna
to ship, deploy, all done. Version 0.4. Okay. I need to get
private
some tea.
delegate.
Oh, oh man, we don't have enough snacks in here. Swear. Yeah, let's get some snacks. That's all we do all day online. Just eat food and write code. I did one or two. Hey, do you want this? What is it? Is this Mars? This is you ate one? What is taking this guy so long?
I thought writing the test, the failing test, was the slowest part.
Yeah, it's okay, Brian. You know, it takes just a lot of training. You know, we're take time with it. We'll get it. Sometimes, sometimes I'll work on just some projects just for the sake of keeping the muscle going. You know, because the thing about standardization standards is that if you don't code too long with it, you forget everything. I think so. I'm okay. The shadow has arrived. I'm sorry, okay, that was weird. It's just the internet, man. What are you gonna do? But Gregory's a nice guy, though. I like Greg. Someday we're gonna have to pull him on the stream and see what he says. Oh, like, well, Greg, nobody knows what you. Even your LinkedIn doesn't have a picture, dude. You know who's the shadow now? Are you going too far? Oh my God,
Yeah.
guy, you need to break that one.
Then return, wait, and just like this. We
Mm,
have the reference here. Are we good? Yeah.
I think
Get rid
so.
of this. Try.
All right.
Passing.
Yeah, that should do the trick. Cool. Next one. Authentication. Unauthorized. He'll do it. You take it. And then write a test. And on the same machine, I'm just going to pick up and push again, you know. And then we give it back to Brian. And Brian will take care of it. I'm not leaving any of you tonight until we get this done. So, look, I mean, I know you got your thing going on. We're not going anywhere until this foundation service is done.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll get a little bit crazy and be like, hey, while we're at it, let's do the client. Hey, while we're at it, let's do the acceptance test. Hey, while we're at it, let's just release. Let's see how fast we do it. I mean, if we finish all the exceptions in like an hour, then the rest of it will be like 20 minutes each, or all of it, 20 minutes combined.
You said that last time, and it turned into a
Yes.
3-hour video.
Why did it take so long last time? I don't know what I was doing different. It's right. It's true. Why did it take 3 hours? I don't remember. Oh, I know why. I try to kind of pull people that haven't done a certain piece, and I'll just sit there and watch. Yeah. There's no fun. Look, I can do the whole project. I was just telling someone this the other day. I can do the whole project in a night, but where's the fun in that? There's no fun in that. seriously, man, like I have a lot of people. I have a couple of people from Microsoft reached out to me. They said, "Hey, we want to participate in these projects as well and whatnot." I was like, "Well, I'm going to be spinning up a lot of other features. Take it, run with it. The community is going to give you some feedback. Be responsive to the feedback. Don't try to invent shit. Just do the right stuff, and people will be super happy with what you're doing. That's the trick, really." So HTTP response. Uh, why are you passing that in a in a theory?
Because we have two types of unauthorized exceptions. So
Oh,
one
admit,
is
yeah, that's
unauthorized
right.
and the forbidden.
Cool. That's fair. I thought, is it one word, unauthorized?
Yeah, it looks like it is one because
Don't make the A uppercase, son. That's weird.
here,
Yeah, don't make it uppercase. Make it normal. He's he's doing things. Let's just leave him alone. Give him a chance. He's a nice guy.
You guys should mute.
Mute on a stream, you know, and let go all the fun. Where's the fun in that?
hey, let me create this exception real quick.
Mm.
And it's public.
Yeah, because the customer should be able to get these exceptions. I know Mabruk had like this idea of documenting all the exceptions and whatnot. I think that's okay. We just need to kind of find the best way to do that because otherwise that front page of
Um,
of the project will be massive, right? We can't give example for everything, but we can give people some insights, right?
mhm,
Here's me initializing the OpenAI client, and here's all the things that you can do underneath,
mhm.
all the options that you have. I think that's totally fine. I'm also planning to kind of spin up a bunch of videos that talk about, okay, now that I have this library, thanks to all of you, now I can go show people, here's a bunch of examples of how you can leverage this library to build cool stuff, right? Like this example that I was showing you the other day, you say what needs to happen without indication of any kind of code, and it builds the web page for you. There's a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking about like making a project like a translator, like let's say for instance, you are a software engineer and I'm a doctor, and we're talking about the same topic. So I'm having AI kind of give you examples that you can relate to, and when you talk to me, it gives me examples that I can relate to, right? So you're talking about a microservice. It comes to me and says maybe a brain or the thought process in a human body and all that. It'll be very interesting. It's like a translator, but in a completely different way, a conceptual translator. You know what I mean? What do you think about that, Brian? I think that's a good idea, right?
Yeah, well,
And
that sounds really interesting.
so this is what AI does. Like it makes you think about possibilities. Just like when programming first started. When people first started learning programming and it started to become mainstream, people start thinking, what can I do with this? Oh, I can build a website. I can build a mobile app. I can build, right? Okay, and now it got boring, right? We've done everything we could do with it. Now there's this new thing that can allow us to think again about creativity. What are the possibilities that we can do? I mean, you can always get creative with things. I mean, for God's sake, there's this girl in, I think it's Vietnam or Thailand. She just videos making sandwiches on a sandwich cart in the street of Thailand, and she has millions of views. Whatever you're doing, you can put enough passion and art and creativity into it, and people will come watch it. People will come see it. It's
Mhm.
pretty much what we're doing in here. That's my version of making sandwiches on the street. So so we'll see how far that one go. It'll be interesting. There he is. What up, dude? Oh, you're on
Hey,
mute.
long time no see.
Long time no
Yeah,
see. You made it.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to come to yesterday's session, but I was out supporting my brother, and he was doing a little artistic endeavor.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to know, what do you think about Elon's take on stopping AI or slowing it down?
Yeah, I mean, he's been saying that for years now. Like when Barack Obama was still president, he basically went to him and he said, this thing is dangerous. And
Mm.
once that genie is outside the bottle, like I saw his first appearance on Joe Rogan show, and he was talking about, he said, once this thing outside the bottle, we will not be able to control it, right? So that was a thing that he was saying while he was still putting money in with Sam Altman. By the way, there's a big interview with him and Sam Altman from like 6 years ago, right? But also, Elon Musk is also egotistical. Like he's really, really he's very narcissistic, right? Like if he doesn't have, he likes the attention. He likes people looking at him, and he configured Twitter in a way that even if you're not following him on Twitter, you're still gonna see his tweets first before even the people you follow, right? And he fired an engineer over that. Like he really brought an engineer and he asked them, he said to him, "Why am I not getting the likes and the retweets that I used to get?" And the guy said to him, "People are just not following you, so they don't get it." And he fired him on spot, right? So yeah, and that's what power does to men, especially, it corrupts your brain. It really just completely ruins your brain, especially if you have people looking at you like a god, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we have someone like Elon Musk that says, hey, we need to be interplanetary species, we need to go beyond, Earth, and we need to go explore other planets. But that the moral compass there completely went rogue, completely off. So there's two reasons we know that he's doing this. And Altman himself, he had this meeting with this Russian guy. His what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he's a professor at MIT, and he did a podcast with him, and he said, Elon is being a jerk these days, is being a
Right.
jerk on Twitter. But, you know, I'm glad that someone like him is out there, right? Because a lot of these millionaires, they just want to go buy a bunch of islands and spend their money on, models and stuff, and that's it, right? This guy is going out there and saying, hey, let's go to Mars. Let's be interplanetary species. Let's expand human consciousness beyond Earth,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
Yusuf, like, long story short, I don't know what the motive is, but I know it's coming from a good place. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
My only point about it is, why is it an arbitrary 6 months? Where's the 6 months? What's that
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's it. Robert Cook just said, yeah, Lex Friedman. Yeah, that interview is really great. Go ahead and watch it. Lex is a smart guy. Um, these you have to understand. These folks are not like they're not gonna sit down and write, code. They're not really that strong in writing software, but they have impact conceptually in terms of thought leadership in different places. You know. Um. Anyway, what were you
Hello,
saying,
Cookie.
Brian?
I was just saying hello to Cookie because Rob's nickname was Cookie at work. I used to work
Oh,
with him.
Robert. Yeah, Robert's your friend. That's right. And do you also know Flygon Fiasco? I wouldn't expect Brian. You know Flygon Fiasco. Thanks for making sandwiches. Okay, okay, take it. Elvic, you did write us a failing test, right?
Yes.
Good. Okay, you're right. Go to town. I know this is a weird keyboard for you. This is not your setting, but we, you know. So yeah, that's Yusuf, yeah, like long story short, that's really the deal. Like, there is some truth to what he's saying, but it's too little, too late now. Like, you have people all over the world now generating their own AI model. The llama model of Meta has already been leaked and it's on BitTorrent, and people are just sharing it across the world. You know that there are places and corners around the world where there is no jurisdiction for any authority. And people, the fact, I don't know. Brian, is Pirate Bay still online? Is that still a thing? Does anyone here know Pirate Bay?
Yeah, there's equivalent to it. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, to download
Why
the
did why,
legal
why did you ask me that, my friend?
because because you've been in the tech industry longer than all of us. So you are more like if I ask you like hold on, if I ask you, Brian, about Kaza, or I ask you about Winamp, I know that, half of the audience in our group would probably not know what that is. You know.
Whips the llama's ass.
Yeah, whip the llama's ass. That's right. Um, yeah, that's why I asked you. Don't worry, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. What the Australian government is watching you? Is that what's happening over there?
Hey, you never know these days.
I know Brian loved the party that controls Australia these
Actually, the current party is a bit different. I was when we were talking about political stuff. That party's been ousted. So
Good,
mm,
good, good riddance.
mm,
Sorry, Robert. I know you're leaning the other direction, but that's okay. That's how I get Robert to talk. Watch.
mm.
Anyway, no, no, no. Long story short, it's too late now, Yusuf. Like, anybody who will see this, he did say this will happen, by the way. Like, if you go to Joe Rogan's interview from like 4 or 5 years ago, right? And I watched that interview more than you can imagine. Sometimes I would come from work and just put it on replay, just
Yeah.
listening to what he's trying to say, right? And he said to him, when AI kind of, starts to become mainstream, there will be an outcry. A lot of years will pass, and then Congress will start get involved in to kind of control it, but it will be too late. So Joe Rogan asked him. He said to him, is it gonna be a good thing for us or not? He said there is no way to tell. It could be useful, or it could just, think about eliminating all of us. Like a
Yeah. I feel like one of the things that's probably gonna happen is AI is gonna be slightly corrupted because AI,
mm-hmm,
since it's trained on the data it takes,
mm-hmm,
the base
mm-hmm.
model will always be skewed on the
It will
data set,
inherit it will inherit our bias. It will
which is
inherit our bias.
interesting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
until the point it gets the ability to train itself and retrain itself, um, it's gonna be biased, and then that means the people with the power or the ability to create AI will use it for their particular gain, and
Exactly.
obviously skew it towards their agenda. And then the
Exactly.
issue I find is that one of the ways I thought of controlling this, so to speak, is decoupling AI from any ability to like utilize anything outside of itself.
That's
So
right.
outside of just porting over data, it can't access the web. It can't.
Too
Of
late.
course,
They already opened it on the web.
yeah, I know. Of course, if you continue to give it data based on anything in general, it would know about the web, so it probably would know how to access it regardless. The other thing would be like making it so that there are different levels of AI. So there's like an
Mm.
AI model that only works with data that you have to feed it and you have to train it. It's like very hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then my third idea was like having a meta AI, an AI that watches the AI. So an
Mm-hmm.
AI that doesn't learn from data, but it learns from the AI by watching
Mm-hmm.
the AI and interpreting what the AI would do next.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like a model watching a model as the model trains itself.
Yep. It's gonna get insane. It's gonna get like three levels deep. It'll be like Inception. Do you know that movie Inception for
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio? It's gonna
yeah,
get insane. Kailu,
yeah.
I think the next one we need to handle is the generic HTTP response. Oh, too many requests too. That's right. Let's do too many requests. Um, ah, just expand the screen. There you go. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's too late now. Like I mean, he's been warning people. He's been warning people for years. Like Elon has been telling people for years, hey, this thing is dangerous. Since Obama era, like we're two presidents ago. He's been warning, and he even got into an online argument with Mark Zuckerberg about AI. At that time, yeah, it got really weird. But my own personal opinion, I'd be like, listen, it's like what Rami Abazale was saying. He's saying, let's just focus on employing it to solve problems. Like right now, one of the biggest thing that I'd like to use AI for is to give us some reasonable data or reasonable answers of how to solve world hunger, right?
Yeah,
How do we solve these problems? Can we engage it in the medical field? Because it's a reasoning engine. It's not a database. It's a reasoning engine.
yeah,
It'll start doing these calculations for you in such a high speed, right?
yeah.
Um, I
This is
also go ahead, go ahead.
well. No, I want to say like I'm also interested in seeing if we can use AI to like solve diseases like cancer
Uh-huh.
or AIDS, diseases that don't have currently a cure, because
Mhm.
biologists cannot necessarily think and create, creative approaches to solving this. But AI can technically use data and manipulate certain data points and see if results can come back in a way that it's like what they call dry lab in the bio world.
Mhm.
I'd be very interested in creating a model that can interpret, analyze, digest, and then propose like test solutions for biologists to then go and implement. So it's really just creating the step between the researcher and the actual research that gets carried out.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, I honestly I might have to create that because I'm kind of interested in seeing if,
Yeah.
of course, there's going to be a lot of limitations, but in the research world, unlike the medical world, you don't actually necessarily need to test on people.
Mhm.
So it's not like you need the same guardrails.
Mhm.
And I think it would be really interesting to apply AI to the research field, to the lab.
Yep. The one we have today is what they call AGI, right? Artificial general intelligence. It's like it's not specialized in anything, but it can be trained to be specialized. Like you saw Elbic the other day when he was testing the chat completion feature. He basically told in the description, he told the system, "You are a teacher. You are an English teacher." And then it kind of started thinking about, oh, wait, I'm an English teacher, so I need to only answer within that context. That's pretty wild. That's wild. That's
One of
what.
the things I
uh,
don't, yeah, one
uh
of the things I don't understand is how does it understand context, like the chat function, right? I've trained the models to understand porting back data in a particular format,
mm,
which is interesting. But I'm curious on how a model picks up on context and then alters its response based on that context. Is it then simultaneously get generating context and then, I guess, returning data based on that context? How does that work? I know you did some research in the implementation side
yeah.
of things. Yeah.
I honestly, I think all of us need to kind of do a deep dive on this colossal AI because that's the one open source thing out there that will kind of help us understand. It's an interesting topic to learn. Hey, Kailu, can you click on Gregory's comment? Just click on it, like, pull it, yeah, just that's it. Gregory says, warning back, I was warning back when George Jetson, I don't know if you guys know the Jetsons, was flying around his wheelless vehicle. This kind of shit is. And Mabruk is like live without me. Well, just join in, dude. I don't know. Just I know you're sitting there on your bed. Just jump in. Sorry for today. So busy. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, uh, just like I was telling people last time, Yusuf, we're just really just scratching the surface, really. Just building a very tiny library that will help us kind of play around and see what the possibilities are. Something that we can trust, but we're gonna have to work also on the back end of that. There is the map that I put together just to tell people where we're going, where we're coming from, where we're headed. It's gonna be an interesting journey. I'm really excited about this. All right, you can lower his comment now. Just click on it again. That's it. See? And now you're a streamer. Nice. You're driving the spaceship now. You got the whole thing. All right. Okay. You got it to pass. Oh, you already got to the failing test. Oh, you sucker. You're just quietly trading in the dark. All right, give it to me. All right, get up. Sit here. My turn. Okay, let's get this started. So you're giving me a failing test? That's not fair. Why would you do that? Too many requests and you're handling it as excessive call AI model. Okay, let's go here. How do you do this code thing, huh? How do you do it? Just click things and it works? Is that click and type, right? HTTP response, too many request exceptions. Give me that guy. Yusuf, get ready. You're in. I'm gonna give you a failing test, son. There are too many requests. Exception. I think it should be yeah, uh too many requests AI model exception. There you go. That's not the exception name though. What did you call it? Excessive AI call AI. Okay. Good. It's a good thing we didn't call it excessive API call because we want to be able people to be able to run this library against a model that's running locally, not necessarily through an API. So there's that. Okay, that makes that test go, right? Let's see here. Did I not throw it? Shame on me. Row new AI model dependency exception, and then excessive AI call. I think excessive call should be at 400 though, because is it dependency validation exception? What did you handle it as? Yeah, it is dependence. Thank you. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I'm more happier with this because it's the caller fault to do that, right? So, okay, go green. Go green. There you go. So here's that. That's a pass. And then we need one just like that one, which is going to be for the HTTP response, which is failed server, failed AI model server exception. So should throw a dependency exception. On send, you mean retrieve all? On retrieve, right? Copy pasta. And I also saw some people forgot to do the given. Is that you, Brian? Did you forget to do the given? Mm-hmm. There, given. All right. So there's that stuff. And also something in here is not spelled properly. Spelling unauthorized. It doesn't know that word. Why not?
It's
Oh,
unauthorization.
no, Elbic was right. Look, Elbic was right, dude.
I guess we should keep it unauthorized, not unauthorization. Right? It's
Yeah,
more.
there's no word called unauthorization. That's right. Unauthorized exception. Okay, that's good.
We should
So,
probably create a ticket for other tests as well.
yeah. Yeah, we'll create a code drop task for it, please, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, I'm doing it
Okay,
right now.
so on retrieve, on retrieve, on retrieve, if server error occurs, server error occurs, or occurred rather, async. There you go. So I'm sending the HTTP response exception. That's the generic one. That's the equivalent of a service exception in here. And I'm taking out all of this. That's HTTP response exception. And then the error that we will be handling is a failed server AI model exception. Let's go up here. Let's go down here. Let's go back to the models. So in the exceptions, here we go. And let's add in some copyrights in here. Here's the exception. And then CTOR takes in a generic exception. So that's your inner exception. Is your base. Here's your message. Failed AI model server error occurred. Contact support. And that's your inner exception right there.
Should it be public, my friend?
Yeah, it should be. Good call. This is public. Control KE minus minus. And then the rest of this is a dependency exception. So this is not dependency validation, it's a dependency exception, and this also is out. And what do I need? Is this guy, actual AI model dependency exception, expected AI model dependency exception. That looks about right. So let's run all this and see what happens. What does Flygun fiasco says? Unauthorized is a word. Unauthorization is not a word. That's right. I agree. Thank you. Which branch are we coding in? Use of its users slash LBIC developer foundations model get all. Okay, and I'm giving you a failing test, son. So this is issue response exception, AI model dependency exception. Yeah, Yusuf, you're all it.
Okay.
Go to town.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, go for it.
Share.
You have a little bit of noise in the background, just
And
FYI.
now, I'm gonna just mute myself while I'm coding.
Okay, cool. Go for it. We'll keep talking about you and you won't be able to say anything. See that Yusuf guy? What's up with the hoodie though? The glasses. just messing with them. Just messing with them. All right, dude, let's go. Did I push that stuff? Yeah. So LBIC after this one, probably just the service exception and we can call it, right? And then we get to do the clients and everything. Cool. Zoom in the code a little bit, Yusuf, if you can, please. If you do control and scroll the wheel forward, yeah. Keep going. That's it. Good. Usually around 200 200% should do the, or 150 is fine. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Okay. You should get a failure at some point. What up, Kay? Are you watching us? No? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
No, you're fine. I'm talking to this guy behind.
Okay.
Am I keeping you? We're almost done. Yeah. Yeah. One more, ship it, call it. Tomorrow we do the clients. It'll be quick, and then ship version 0.3. I could change the version anything I want. Like it doesn't have to be 0.3. I can make it 0.4 because there's two iterations, and then people will wonder forever what happened to version 0.3. Let's not do that, right? That'd be management high quality. Oh, there was no 9? That's crazy. I mean we do the same thing at Microsoft. We went from XP, no, we went from 95 to 311, 95, 98, 2000, and then millennium, and then we went to XP, Vista, no, XP and then Vista, and then 7, and then 8, and then 10. I know where the 9 is. I can't say it though. It's like confidential information. So I know exactly where 9 is. All right, let's do it. There he is. He knows. He got it. He jumps. He dunks. He scores. Let's go home. Let's go home. I do watch a lot of these slam dunk contests. They're awesome. The crazy things they do. They violate the laws of physics in these games. There's this guy called Zach Levine. Oh my holy God! In 2018, the stuff that he was doing in the court, he's spinning 360, jumping over someone's head, flipping upside down, and then doing a slam dunk. It's amazing. Just see how much people. Rami said Windows Me. That's Millennium, right? Yeah. There was also, do you guys remember Windows Bullhorn? Does anyone remember that one? Was it Bullhorn or Windows? Say Windows.
It was a Windows 2 was the first one, I think, wasn't it?
No, no, no. There was a not Bullhorn. Is it Redhorn or hold on? There was a special edition of Windows. Um, um, gosh, I'm trying to remember. Something about Longhorn. Yeah, Windows Longhorn. Yep. There is Windows Longhorn. Yeah, look it up. It's a thing. Was it? Yeah, oh great. My computer wants to restart like literally right now, but I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, Microsoft Longhorn, the Experience Longhorn project. Yeah, that was a thing. And I guess Longhorn turned out to be Vista. Yeah, Longhorn, thanks. Yeah, that's it, Rami. Yep. Bullhorn, Redhorn. My brain just see, our brains are not memory processors, they're data processors, they're story processors. Just reasoning something around there, you know. I guess that's what ChatGPT is doing today, right? It's telling you, something like that, you know, except that it's really fast and yeah, Windows Longhorn. I also heard, I could swear at some point in time there was something called Windows 99, but that didn't get popular enough. I'm very vague on that. There's a lot of stories around these systems and stuff like that. I know that, you know, underneath, at least all the way up to Windows um, Millennium, it was, you know, Windows NT kernel is what's powering a lot of these. But I digress. Okay, Yusuf, write us the last test, man. Let's call it.
When you pass a test, do you pass it and then push and then start a new thing, or do you just pass, commit, and then start?
Pass commit and then start. You know,
Okay.
because
Uh,
because you're pushing it to who? You still have one more thing to do, right?
I see. And this last test is going to be, I guess, like those service exceptions.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay. Okay.
The generic one.
All
And
right.
then we'll go back full circle to Parker to make it pass. And then since we're almost at the top of the hour, I'll just call it. And then we'll do the clients tomorrow. Clients will be the easy one, you know. And then we release. And then we start a new sprint. And then we keep going like that until there's nothing else left to do. And then we start thinking about we start making things up, right? You know, we have the library. I mean, I'm still with Odin Hall. I think that's his name. I still like his idea of, you know, creating um, uh, a fluent API. So we need a client that has extensions and it does fluent, you know, implementation of calling RESTful AI. Also, there's a lot of fun stuff that I was talking to Brian about yesterday. He was talking about streams and stuff like that. And I want you to be able to do like a monadic function, like you can pass a function to a function. And this function that you're passing in expects that model that comes from the stream. So every time a new record comes from that stream, it runs that function. That's a great concept that I can introduce to people and take this as an opportunity to tell people this is how this is going to work. I think that'll be great. That'll be a great opportunity, right? Hey, come sit over here. I'll get some water. You want water? Okay. Okay. You're like 10 minutes away from here, right? Yeah.
Your camera is blurry. So
Oh, Elbic, sorry, Kailu, can you just put your hand like this and move it back and it's kind of change the focus. This technology is broken. I'm gonna go get this camera that has like AI in it. It follows you wherever you go. It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. I don't know. Let's see. Why is it not doing the You're not missing out on a lot, Elbic. I just want to tell you that much. I think when you go a little bit further, give it a second. It will adjust. Maybe. We'll see. Here we go. So we handled that service exception. Just so people understand, Brian also brought up an interesting argument. He said, what if your datetime broker is throwing exceptions, right? And we kind of need to think about, what kind of exceptions this datetime broker can throw. Something like a code drop that people or minor fix that people can go back to and think about, what if you're doing a conversion and the value that you passed in is not a good value and this datetime broker starts to throw exceptions. Also something for the standard community to think about. Across all our domain systems, this is a utility system, right? Like what we're building here is a utility system. It's a library that is supposed to get baked into other libraries, other utilities, or a domain system. But in our domain systems, like when you're building a website or an API and whatnot, what do we do when the logging broker fails? The logging broker. What do we do then? Because we're calling the logging broker at the time when we're trying to handle the exception and there's no coverage there, right? There's nothing to take care of that, right? So something for Christo and Brian and Paul and everybody in the community to think about, something on the think tank side of things. I never said the standard is perfect, did I, Kailu? I said it's not perfect, never will be, right? It's
Yeah,
always
so
evolving, right?
I remember asking such question: what if some unexpected error occurs that we didn't handle? Um, and you said in that case your acceptance tests are tripping.
It should. It should catch
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, it should. But also the other thing is you never want engineers to test their own software. That's the biggest mistake, a lot of companies do. Be like, hey, you built it, go test it. Because when you test something that you built, you're
mhm,
only gonna test the things that you have developed, the things that you know of. The whole idea about testing is to bring someone who has no idea what you developed and poke around until he gets your or she gets your system to crash. That's why you need QAs. Um, Manami Manami Tamura says, I mean, what if your .NET Core breaks? What if a solar flare knocks out your VMs? Why is the logging broker something special? That's true. I mean, if .NET Core breaks, then we throw a service exception. So that we're taking care of, right? Even if we have like memory leakage and whatnot, we already handled that with that exact same exception that that Yusuf is building right now. But your logging broker, that's something else. What if your logging broker somehow we need to in the standard we need to distinguish between things that we will tolerate its failure. Like if the logging broker fails, that shouldn't be a showstopper, right? Because your customer, the consumer of the API endpoint, shouldn't be impacted because of some monitoring system that you have in the back end is failing, right? But how do we handle this gracefully? This is a deep topic that we need to think about. Are all our dependencies warrant, circuit breaking? Some of them can be tolerated, some of them don't. The one thing I know for certain is that we're not gonna write empty catch except catch blocks. Otherwise, we may as well just delete the standard and go back to just writing chaotic systems. What do you think about that, Elbic? Just something to think about. Stop checking your phone, son. Stay with me. Hey, stream, stay with me. Okay, there you go. Okay. Uh, hang on. No, no, Yusuf, no. You don't need a private class member for that. Just look at the other exceptions. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, things are evolving super fast. with ChatGPT, OpenAI, you barely like literally every day I look at my phone and there's this new thing or other thing on the next thing.
You're allowed to generate images now with Bing.
Brian, did you see it generating videos? Did you see the part where they generated videos with it?
No.
There will be a point in time where they just upload the transcript and
Mm.
you don't need actresses and actors anymore. Like AI could generate an actor that just looks exactly for the role that never existed, like a human being picture that never ever existed. You know how they took a lot of time to interview actors and actresses to see if they fit the role, right? They don't need to do that anymore. They just need to, like the author, the creative person of this whole process, the person that's writing the story or the novel needs to describe exactly what the character is supposed to look like, and an AI will generate a human-like character that looks exactly like that, and then animate it, right? So I think a lot of this, like, it's gonna hit a lot of this creative work really hard, like movies, theaters, stuff like that. I think that, having someone actually doing the work manually without AI is going to be like a commodity. Like it's like the same thing how you buy something that's knitted by hand today instead of a machine, and you say this is so valuable. Someone actually did this by hand. I think that's what Lamborghini does with their seating. In the cars, they do the knitting by hand. That's why they're very expensive, Lamborghini cars. So it becomes a commodity, becomes a luxurious thing because AI is already, doing that for you. It's going to be an interesting couple of years. And then there are these folks in Texas that are creating like an almost identical human tissue-like robots that you can't distinguish them from reality. Like if you shake its hand, you can't tell if this is actually a real human being. It's even warm, like you're holding a human being, like you're shaking hands with a human being. What does Fiasco say? Should we be inheriting from except yes. Yep. He's there, he's going. The thing about Yusuf, let me just tell you guys something about Yusuf, and I learned something from him in that perspective. He will tell you this, he'll say, let me fail. Let me take an attempt and fail. Because that's part of my learning process. Each and every one of us has our own style. That I learned from Yusuf. You know, that's pretty cool. I mean, we're not gonna let him fail. We're just gonna let him do whatever he wants. And then after he's done, we're just gonna troll him for days on a public stream, like friends would. That's good friendship right there. These will also be the exact same friends that when you get in a fight, they just start fighting with you without knowing why you're fighting, and then later they can ask questions. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. You're my friend. You're in a fight. I'll go in and fight with you, and then we'll see later what was the problem. Yeah. So who's going next after you? So is that you, Brian? Brian, you're gonna be wrapping up for us today. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good idea? We'll let Brian Parker finish it.
I think it's about 5 lines of code, maybe.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 lines. If you
Mhm.
count the closing squiggly, that'd be 5. Elbig, take one last look at the entire code that we written in the last couple of sessions. See if there's any code drops in there. Someone wrote AI with lowercase I or something like that. And then create the pull request, please.
One other thing, Hassan, we need to deal with the there was a couple other. We got to do the async calls.
Mm,
Sorry, the stream calls for the
mm-hmm.
chat completions and the chat and the completions.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We need to create those. I'm just trying to get like the basic cable functionality across all the offerings.
Yep.
And then we can like, retrieve all models. They have an API endpoint that retrieves a specific model by ID,
Yep.
right? They have that, right? But I want to kind of give people bare minimum capability so they can go and say, okay, we're all the way up to 0.9.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start implementing these and say, okay, version 1, official release, go use that in real life projects. Go ahead, we're ready for this release. It's gonna take a little bit of testing. I need to spin up a bunch of examples and see what people have. Like, I want sessions for us to just sit down and be like, what can we do with AI? Like a dedicated hour, or so, even if it's once a week, and be like, what can we do with AI? Okay, let's go build that. It's not necessarily like, a production thing. It's a POC. You still have brokers and services, but you're just trying to kind of get something out the door and experiment with a certain concept, right? And we should make it very clear for the people that are, consuming that source code that this is not production. It's standard. It's not standard compliant. It's a POC. It's meant to be thrown in the trash, right? It's just meant to kind of not this code that we're building, but the examples that will be built on top of that, for sure. Okay, 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 okay. So AI model service exception. Yeah, Yusuf, you just need the base and the message, and you pass in the inner exception, and that's it.
And I'm passing in an exception there, right? So I've
You
caught the exception, and now I'm passing in an exception.
with the X, yes, that's right.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, just do base message service error occurred contact support, and that's it. I think these practices are becoming more and more common with the community. People will, okay, here's a service exception. Here's what I want to do with it. What I really tell everyone and advise everyone to do, if you're not sure, like usually what I tell people is, hey, if you're not sure, do it by hand a lot. Do it by hand a lot, right? And then after you're really good at it, like you and I can copy code, but we can also write it from scratch. I'm pretty sure Elbit could do, everybody could do stuff like that. But if you're not sure, do it over and over and over again. At least do it once from scratch, just like Yusuf did. He basically wrote down the function, right? Um, that would help us all a lot. So failed completion. So that would be failed. Let's see. Failed AI model service. Yeah, that's right. I don't know who did this. I don't know if it's Mabruk or Gregory or someone. So I think it's Gregory. I think they did a multiple multiple resolutions for OpenAI library logo. So people can use the logo for multiple places and it can kind of rescale and resize as needed. It's pretty cool. I like the creative side of the community on this part.
I
Now
asked
do it.
ChatGDP. I asked ChatGDP if it could convert it to an SVG, but it couldn't.
Oh, it couldn't do it.
No.
I saw people give it a URL and tell it go read whatever is in this URL. But if you give it a URL that's like in GitHub or MD, it's not gonna read it. This is why it's not reading the standard. Elbic, how did you get it to read the URL? Did you just publish it somewhere else? What did you do?
I'm not. I didn't understand the question. Which URL? You mean how did I train the model?
No, no, no. When you're talking to Chat GPT and you're basically giving it a URL to read,
Uh,
like when you tell it, hey, go read this page, right? Did you try that? Did you try to give it the raw GitHub MD file, or how did you just download the standard and start feeding it and
yeah,
completions? Okay,
yeah. That's
you
what I
still
did.
I think
From
that go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I just did the hard work.
I think the next sprint we're gonna go do that fine tuning stuff. That's gonna be very interesting. You know, this could be its own sprint. It could even span a couple of sprints because we need to talk a lot about what does that mean, what fine tuning means. How do we expect to test this? What is this supposed to look like? And all that cool stuff. In fact, for the integration tests for fine tuning, we're gonna be calling two different endpoints. So we'll fine tune the model and then we go retrieve that model by ID. The crazy part about this is that um, the model status changes after a while. So after you submit a fine-tuned model, it will say it's pending or processing before it says it's completed already or canceled. And of course, we need to map this into enums, but it's definitely going to be interesting. The fine-tuning is definitely one of the big ones. All right, Yusuf, how's it going? You have, yeah. Oh,
It's
you didn't hear it
it's
from exception.
did I not?
Yeah, and get rid of that private class member.
Oh, I actually accidentally, one second.
Okay.
I this okay. I'm just gonna redo it here. I made
Okay.
another except so I noticed there's one thing that I've seen you and Elvic do
Mm,
where when you're creating a file in a different when you're creating like when you create a so if you were to do something like var x equals new,
mm-hmm.
whatever this is, and then you like create this class in a new file somewhere in a particular folder. And
Yeah.
I know how to do it with the control dot, but I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to do it where the actual file goes into the folder that I want.
You,
So
you
I'm
can't.
having
You
to
have
like,
to go to the folder. You have to do it in the
oh,
folder
you have to
specific.
go to the
Yeah.
folder.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's the only issue I had. I'm gonna go ahead and redo this because this is like,
Let's do
yeah,
it.
and I'll mute myself as well.
Cool. So that's the service exception, inherits from E exception. That guy should take, since it's a,
Ah,
did we lose connection there for a second?
yes, yes,
Were you guys okay, or is it just me and Kailu?
it's you.
Just us? Wow, we're
Dubai,
being hacked
Dubai.
live. Mosk, and he sent his dogs on us.
We thought you moved to
Yeah, it's
Dubai.
really pity, like to see, like I don't follow Elon on Twitter, right? But every time I open up the main page, I see his tweets come in first, even before the people that I actually follow. It's really pity. It's bad. There was this lady, she was working at Twitter as well, and after the big layoffs happened and all that, she was going on social media, taking pictures of herself sleeping in the office, right? Showing people, hey, look at my dedication and all that kind of stuff. And then he fired her. And then he fired her. That was that was horrible. That was that was really bad, The thing is, like, I think if you don't write code, Elon just doesn't know what you're doing there. Like he doesn't care whether you're HR, sales, whatever. Like if you don't write code, if you don't do engineering work, I don't know what you're doing there. You know, it's interesting. He definitely hates nothing more than just middle management that's just doing PowerPoint slides all day and not actually writing any code. I've never met any of these guys ever in my life. It's a completely foreign concept to me. Anyway, okay, let's do it. Yeah, I don't know what just happened to StreamYard. Just went blank. I wonder if I lift the studio, will the stream continue? I'm the host, yeah. But it just takes down the whole. I know Zoom does that. Like Zoom would, if the host leaves, everyone just, fall on, you know. Have you used Zoom? It's weird. The quality's good though. Yeah.
Hassan, I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste because I could do it by hand. That's what I'm trying to do to drill back in the standard.
Yeah.
But I think I'll do that at a different time. For now, since
Totally
I
fine.
understand, yeah, I understand the basic concept, so I'm just gonna go ahead and
Let's do it.
plug it in. Yep.
I think it's a Git because it's a broker, right? Okay.
I don't think you need any for this one. You just run
Nope.
the actual
Nope.
function.
Doesn't. You could copy the other part from the test above. It'll make things so much easier for you. Like
Right.
take up from the way you're mocking all the way down to verify no other calls. Take it all the way down,
Really?
and then yeah, and then just replace the things
Oh
that
yeah. That are different that change.
yeah,
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna be going and throwing this guy.
yep.
Expected would be this one. Get
Good.
on. I guess that's it.
Nope, not yet. Take another look.
At the one above or a different
The one
service.
the one that you just wrote,
Oh,
right?
right.
Yep.
It's,
Don't rush it. Always take 1 minute and read again.
yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Actual AI model service exception. It's
Uh-huh.
AI. Yikes. Retrieve all models.
Okay.
Of course, the actual AI service exception. Okay, I think that's it. I'll go ahead and do a quick read over too
Yep.
from the win, since this one makes sense to me.
Yep.
Retrieve all models task. Yep, retrieve all models task. AI service exception. Actual AI service exception. Cert AI service exception. Retrieve all models tasks. Actual service exception should be equivalent to the expected models exception. Verify. Okay, cool. And I'll just compare and contrast quickly with what you have over here. Yep, it looks the same. So I'll
Yep.
go ahead and just run that.
Yep. Run all the tests. Make sure that's just yours that's failing, and give it to Parker.
Okay.
Ryan Parker. Gonna throw the last stone in that well.
I started it.
Yeah. We wrapped that sprint too early, way too early. I thought we are gonna go into Saturday or something, but that sprint went just fine.
Okay. I think we're in. Just review some of my code just to make sure that it all looks good. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and push.
Make sure you push. You committed. You didn't push.
Yeah, I
As
like to
long as
push to the CLI. It's just a habit.
sure works.
Okay, it's in.
All right, Parker, take it. Here's Brian.
How about that?
Great. Let's run all the tests and see. So I don't see. Do you see Yusuf's test? Yeah, I see it right there on retrieve. If service error occurred, async. That's right. Cool. Let's go. What is it? What is it? Tell me. What? Done. It's done. Yeah. I thought you found something. Okay, Brian, give us that commit. Brian, there's an extra line in the exceptions file at the business at the service level.
Yep.
You see it?
Oh, that one.
Thanks. Is that right? Is that what you were talking about?
We
Oh,
good, gentlemen?
oh, Parker, go to the exceptions classes themselves in the models.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, open up failed service exception.
Where is it? Yeah.
What is it, okay?
No.
This good. Open up the next one. Mhm.
Which one? This one?
This one is internal. That's one. And also open up the AI model service exception. What is it, okay? Oh, there's extra line. Oh, the namespace is whack. Unit is, oh, foundations. Oh, that should say models instead of services, right?
And you might want to get one of the the
Yep.
test units. Yeah,
Yep.
that's just because I moved it from the wrong folder.
Yeah, that's fine. So now that you
Also, you might want to do the same thing with the failed AI service model exception too. Yeah, oh no, the namespace is fine.
this one's good. Okay, what else? What else? Now, Brian, if you go back to the test, you're gonna find some unneeded namespaces at the top. So go to the test for the exceptions. Go all the way up.
What's happened here?
What happened here? Oh, I think that's a red herring. That's not real. I think that's Visual Studio tripping. Yeah, give me a Control KE in here. There you go. Run all the tests again. Let's take a look. Make sure things are building. Okay, look. Do you see anything else? Should be good, right?
We got a bad build. Failed.
Oh, the build failed?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Let's see why. What's it say? Unauthorized exceptions. What's the error? What's it say? Elbic, this method is there, right? Public static.
Yeah, but unauthorization.
Come here.
Probably we changed the name. Probably let's have a look at the question
Yes, we did. Yeah.
We did what? Oh, unauthorized? No, no.
Yeah, let's look at the
Let's look at the method.
method
Yeah,
itself. Yeah.
change the name. Gregory Hayes says. Unauthorization. Unauthorization exception. Unauthorized exception?
Oops. Does that look better, guys?
Yeah. Elbic is, did we give it the same name across all the other services? Unauthorization exception? We should probably fix that. Make an issue for it. All right,
I've
Brian.
already.
Yep. All right, thanks. Let's run that again. Let's see what's happening.
Failed again.
It failed? Let's see why. There's probably one more thing. The type or namespace test does not exist. Double click on it. Let's see where that takes us. Oh yeah, take that out. That was do Control E on that one. Just take all. Yeah, that should do it. And why that service has an extra line in there. Scroll down, there's an extra line there. Line 16. And this is the try catch. Did you build that try catch? You're the one who built the try catch?
It was me.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Good. Run all the tests.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
All right, give me that push. Let's merge this in. Let's call it. All right, Elbic, I think we did the review already, so we should be good. All right, let's go there. Just the name changes for the. You could call it authorization exceptions. Instead of unauthorized, call them in a code drop authorization exceptions. I'm okay with that. Let's make that a code drop for another session. Okay, So I can then go and say, Brian, you pushed it, right? From your
No,
side,
no,
right?
no, not yet, mate.
Okay,
I just had to do a quick. I had to do a quick spell check.
okay.
There
I
we go.
think also just, just something that we talked about yesterday. We talked about the, being able to truly generate a random list. And one of the things that Mabruk kind of came down to, we did a little bit of research yesterday, and he wanted to generate a GUID and get the hash code. Hey, Rami, is generating a GUID and getting the hash code from the GUID, is it possible that you ever run into duplication in the hash code value? You know what I mean? So, if, and just an open question for everybody, really, but I know that Diogo said that's not unique. That's not going to be unique. So if you look at, and I know Parker also put a little bit of work there just using queues and whatnot, but I want it to be simple and stateless. That's really important for me. So what what we come down to, new GUID like this, or sorry, GUID dot new GUID like this, and then we basically get hash code. Is it possible that this value that comes out there, and it's a perfect value, we just don't know that we would ever run into a situation. Rami says there's a small possibility. That's the problem. Yeah.
There
So,
is. I
uh-huh.
I actually ran the test with 1,000 iterations and it didn't happen. But if you read the help on the get hash code, it actually warns you at the bottom
It
in the
does say
remark.
that will generate similar. So we still don't have a good solution for this. And the solution that I made yesterday was even more naive. What I basically went and said, I said, okay, um, we're gonna just increase the range of, int min, int max, which is going to minimize the possibility that we're going to run into duplications. But that's not a good solution. That's bad engineering. I'm the one who wrote it. I'll take the ownership of saying this is bad engineering. So I see the git hash code in here. I think Mabruk already pushed that one.
Hmm.
I think that we need to consider a better option. Yes, it's possible. Tamura says, yeah, it's possible. The question is, shouldn't your system be resilient enough to just retry? We don't retry on tests. We don't retry on tests. Tests shouldn't have logic in them. We don't say if failed. If you start to write if else statements in your unit test, you're doing it wrong. If you start doing, oh, I need to add some logic in my test, we're doing it completely wrong. Okay, so just something for the community to think about. I am trying to find a method, a simple method, that will give me and generate a unique integer every time I call the function. One of the suggestions that we have today is for me to go and say, hey, give me this ticks in the system. So basically go and say date time offset dot utc now dot ticks, like that. Right? And these ticks will basically give you back what you would call, let's see here, so insert ticks will give you back a long value, right? And this long value somehow needs to be mapped into an integer and so on and so forth. If
You're
it,
gonna have
if
the same problem again once you map along into an
right,
int.
right. The solution it can't be stateful. You can't save previous values. You just can't. It's a bad solution. It looks ugly. And your solution cannot rely on variables that are being passed in either. I just want to call a function like this, and every time I call it, it gives me back a new value. One idea that comes to mind is, and it's really hacky, is to basically go and say, oh, well, then give me give me year like this, give me, and right next to it, give me months, give me day, give me minute, second, millisecond. For sure, that's going to be unique. If that's the only option that we have and that's the only thing we can do, fine. Can we do better? Do we have enough engineering power and engineers with experience on the community to kind of solve that problem for us? This is the intangible stuff. The things that people would go and say, oh, let's just cut the corner there and just, it works. We run it 1,000 times. But that's not what we stand for here. Okay. Tamura says no, but your pipeline can retry on the same condition. That's what they are for. Like we talked about before, stuff can fail. This can happen yeah, but unless you're not intentionally baking in code that you know is flaky by default. Like if it's something in the pipeline itself, like the agent is failing or something like that, sure. But our code is flaky and we know that it is, and we're relying on retry. I don't know. And then he said, I guarantee there are many things you and I are not smart enough to think up that are also fail conditions. It's possible, but if we know of one, we need to go tackle it. Like the ones that we know of. There are known knowns, unknown knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. And unknown unknowns, there's just no way to find out, unless you start poking, revealing that. So what do you guys think about this suggestion? If I just go up in here and say, give me date time, offset, right? And I go and say UTC now, dot to string, and I go inside that guy and I basically go and say, give me the format, right? So, I don't know, there gotta be a way here where you basically go and say, I like the autocomplete that they added in though. So you could go and do this. So this is year and then months and then days and then hours and then minutes, I think. I think hours is itch like that. And
I
then
think
minutes.
months is capital M.
Oh, really? Is
Minutes.
that what it is? MM like this. What about days? Do you know days?
No.
Here's a number for you. And that number will never be the same because you're going all the way down to that. We also need did you say milliseconds? What's after S? Do you guys know? What's smaller than S that gets down to the really fracture of a thing?
I think it's ZZ.
ZZ?
Try that.
Nope, that gives me the time zone, I think.
If you wanted tea water.
There's something there. There's milliseconds, there's MM, and then there is gee, I need to go back to let's find out here. So if I go into um let's see here, date time, offset, format. There you go. And then can I get, they should have like a nice table somewhere that basically tells you here is all the options that you have. These are just all examples. Where is the specifier to string output? There it is. What is U? Converts this object to UTC.
If you want
Nope, that's
thousandths
not.
of a second, triple F.
Triple F, is that what it is? Oh, there you go. Diogo just told us. Okay, let's go there. So triple F, FFF, like that. There you go. And that will be extremely hard to kind of break because every time you call that guy, really it's going to give you a completely different value. But is it faster than a for loop? Like if I go there and say for, do you guys know that you can do for like this? That's a for loop. That's an infinite for loop. That will basically just break my computer. And this guy, this basically is what we call infinite for loop in C#. It doesn't stop. It doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. So if I click that, right, I expect my computer is just gonna go red right now. I'll be like, nah, I'm not gonna execute that. Look, it already hung. All right, fine. Let me terminate that process. Let's make it reasonable. Fine, fine. It got mad at you. Okay, okay. Let's go here. Be like, you can't do this to me. After all we've been through, you can't do that. Let's see here. Resetting execution engine. There you go. So if I go and say for int I is 0, start from 0, and then give me, and probably Mabruk is going to kill this like kind of research and stuff, but we'll see. Less than 1000, and then I'm going to say plus plus, and then I'm going to just paste this statement here. This is great stuff. This is something that we all can learn from, right? Okay, why is it not running? Oh, I didn't console write line. That's right. Or maybe that's why I didn't print it out. That's right. Ah, okay, here we go. Console write line. This is the equivalent of REPL in C#. There you go. So do we have similar values? I think we do. It's not good.
Add another F. So each
Add,
F represents.
add another F. We need the
Yep.
text though. Okay, let's do this. Dang it! I thought that would do the trick for us. It's running too. It's true. It's running way too fast. It's running on the ticks. So, did you say add another F? Is it
Yep,
gonna be?
four Fs is 10 thousandths of a second. 5 Fs is, yeah, it just keeps going.
Nope.
So try another one maybe.
Another F? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So triple F, like five Fs. No, I think it just stopped right there. Damn, we still don't have a solution then. The other option that I have in mind is to basically go and say, let's see, Tamura says, you ended up with something way more likely to collide. Maybe just look up a community solution to this problem. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I couldn't find any that we've been searching this Tamura for like a couple of days now. I think you need to go with ticks. I agree, Diogo. That's the next thing that I was gonna go with. So if I go and say date time offset dot UTC now ticks, right? And if I print this, even the ticks can't keep up with it. Darn it. Yeah, I need a solution.
You can go all
Help
the way
out.
up to you can go all the way up to 6 Fs. So I don't know if that'll help.
All the way up to 6 Fs?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? Three,
Yep.
4, 5, 6? Nope. The computer is just too fast. Fiasco says, can GUID map into int? No, it cannot. Is it too many bytes? Yeah, it cannot. It's 128-bit. It's not gonna work. Tamura says, I'm thinking about this, had this problem at work a few times a few years ago. Yep, you're gonna run into that problem. The reason why we don't have a solution for it is just a lot of engineers just said, hey, screw it. But we don't. We need to kind of dig into it until we get to the bottom of it, because that's the fun. That's the point of this community, right? So ticks don't work. If we do GUID, let me just show you. That's what basically Mabruk and I kind of ended up doing. GUID.new GUID, and we basically said git hash code. That's what I was asking Rami about, but there's still a slight chance that look, watch this. Look, it's truly crazy, and it's never gonna be, or very less likely, a chance for it to. So that's the solution we have, guys, but it's not a good solution. Um, Tamura says, what about random plus random plus random plus random? I'm sure some math whiz figured out some kind of infinity number generator. This is not a bad idea, actually. Let's just see what random, is it gonna be int, Tamura? Do you think that's gonna be int? Let's see. So he's basically saying, um, random get next. I think it's next, right? Plus, so he's basically, there's still a
Uh,
chance. There's still a chance, dude. You know this, right? Like, I know it's like 1 in a billion, but I
still
don't
going
know.
to
Just
result.
try it out.
Still going to result in an int. Then that's where you
It's
get. Yeah.
it's actually not working. Why is it not working? Shit. So, well, that's weird. That's really weird. Why is it doing that? It's fast. It's just too fast for the randomizer.
What if you didn't create a new random? You just did random.next.
Random.next? Okay, let's try that. Yusuf, I don't know what's going in the background there, but okay, I gotcha. It's a good idea. Let's do. Well, random.next, Yusuf, is basically what we do with random numbers, and then you get stuck with there's still a possibility where you end up basically going into a situation where it might generate the same number twice. I wrote that wrong. I'm sorry. Let's do this again. Console write line, new random dot next. It's too fast. All right, listen. Just for the best interest of the time for the community, I'm offering $25 Amazon gift card for whoever can get me a solution for this. This is a problem, and I have huge appreciation for people that can put in time and effort and solve problems like these. So far, the way to go, and it's not a way to go, but it's a way to go, is to basically just kind of get the hash. Get the hash from a new GUID, because it's very unlikely that the GUID is going to give you the same value. It's never going to give you the same value. And technically, it's supposed to have an address in memory. And because it's a different value, it will never be assigned the same address in memory. So that's the strongest solution that we have so far. Is it perfect? No. That's why I'm putting $25 in. If your solution is stateless and pretty, I'll even give you $50. If it's amazing and you can blow my mind, go ahead. Tamura says for 1% chance of collision, you'd need to generate about, oh my God. Yep, so GUID is the way to go, huh? Tamura?
That's the collision on the GUIDs. Once you convert the GUID back to an int, the collisions are higher.
Yeah, and we're not even converting the actual value of the GUID. We're looking for the space in memory. And it's very likely that if you generate enough GUIDs, garbage collection will just reassign, right? But that's very unlikely. I think this is probably it's worth more like 50 trillion. No, it's not worth it's not worth 50 trillion. Stop it. It's just that you want to see a problem that's worth $50 trillion. I can show you a problem that's worth $50 trillion. That's not it. Anyway, just something for you guys to think about. I'm merging this PR. Thank you all for this. I appreciate this. This kind of brings us even a little bit closer to our milestones. If you look at our milestones in here, we're a little bit closer on the Retrieve AI model. And then we publish all of these. We get these. I mean, we got 2 out of 3, and the third one is only blocked because we need additional work there. That's all. But I appreciate you all for your contribution today. Thank you for jumping in, and let's connect tomorrow. Come up with a solution. I'll give you money for it. Okay? Talk to you later. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you all. Take care.